So in today's class, we will be discussing the various options which are available in View tab. So we are having basically 5 groups in View tab. As you can see here, we are having documents view, show or hide view, zoom group, and Windows group, and a macros group. So let us have a discussion regarding these in today's class. So we are having a different documents view here. So normally by default, when we open MS Word document 2007, by default, we will be getting print layout view. As you can see here, there are 5 different views. There are 5 different views available here. By default, print layout will be the default view for the document. And we can change this view according to our convenient. Assume that I want to read the content here. So at that time, I can go for full screen reading so that the content will be very easily I can read, so that I don't find any other options which are available in tabs here. So when we go for full screen reading. Similarly, I want to view the entire content as a web layout. So for that, I can use this particular option. That is what? Web layout option. Suppose I want to generate only the outline view, that time I need to select outline view, and also I can go through the draft view as well. So these are the different document views available. So by default, as I said, by default the view will be print layout view. So now let me change this. Let us select full screen reading so that we can view the document in a full screen mode. So it will maximize the space here. As you can see, my content has been displayed by using a full screen view now. So unnecessary options it will hide, like we are unable to see the rulers, we are unable to see the scroll bars here, and also we are unable to see the various tabs and its options. Suppose I want to view those options again. So at that time I can click on view options here. So these are what various options we can view. Okay, suppose I want to exit this full screen view, then I need to click on this close button, which is available at the right hand side corner. So as you can see here, so this is what the close button. Okay, so if we close this, it will exit from full screen reading now. Okay, so similarly, we can go through the web layout view so that my document can be viewed just like a web page. So now let me click on web layout. As you can see here, so this is how my document is displayed in the web page. Assume that sometimes I need to prepare the content which is relevant to, or which I want to publish in the web page. At that time, suppose I want to see how my web page looks like. At that time, I can simply go for web layout view. Okay, so similarly, we can go through the outline view so that it will show the outlining tools here like this. So this is called as outline view. And suppose I want to close this outline view, then I need to simply click on this close outline view option, which is available here. Okay, so we need to click on this particular option. So now let me close this. And similarly, we are having one more view, that is draft view, so that we can view our document as a draft here. So these are what different document views. Once in examination, they have asked for 5 marks, saying that explain different document views. At that time, you need to highlight these 5 document views along with a little bit explanation regarding those views. So default view will be print layout view only. So this is what the default view. Whenever we open a fresh new document, then by default it will display what? Print layout view. So this will what? It will show the document how it can be printed in a page. So in that manner it will show the document. So this is regarding what document view group. And besides that, we are having a show or hide group here. Assume that I want to see the ruler now. So ruler component is hidden now. Say for example, I want to show the rulers. At that time, I need to enable this ruler option. As you can see here, we are having a ruler option here, grid lines, document map, thumbnails. So these are what various options we are getting in show or hide group. Say for example, now I'm going to enable ruler. If I enable this ruler option, then it will show the rulers here so that we can measure the lines. As you can see here, this is nothing but the ruler. So as you are seeing here, this is called as a ruler, so that we can see the margin settings, and we can figure out the line spacing, etc. here. So this is horizontal ruler, and similarly we are having a vertical rulers at the left hand side. As you can see here, this is what a vertical ruler. So likewise, we can enable these two rulers by using what? This ruler option. Sometimes we need to have a grid line so that we can arrange the objects in a systematic manner. At that time, we have to enable this grid lines option here. Now look at here, when I enable this one, you can see the grid lines are appearing here. As you can see here, these are nothing but the grid lines. Whatever the horizontal and vertical lines you are going to see, these are nothing but grid lines. So which are in imaginary lines. Okay. So these are the grid lines, so that we can arrange the content in a systematic manner. Whenever we are placing some of the objects or graphical objects, at that time it will become very easy, so that we can arrange the objects in a systematic manner by using what? Grid lines. So for that purpose, grid lines is enabled. And also, if we take the printout of this, these grid lines will not appear in a hard copy. Okay, so because these are what imaginary grid lines, which will help you to align the various objects in the document. But when we take a hard copy of this, at that time, if you require, then you can take a printout of a grid lines in a hard copy. Otherwise, we can simply disable these grid lines. Okay, so this is regarding grid lines. Similarly, we can open the document map by using a document map option here. If I enable, you can see here at the left hand side, we are able to see the document map. So in the document map, it will show what are the headings available in the entire document. So these are the various headings we have included. Accordingly, it is going to display the document map. Okay. Say for example, when I click on a particular heading, it will directly navigate to that particular section. As you can see here, now I'm going to click on digital computation. When I click digital computation, you can see here, it is showing the contents which is relevant to digital computation. So this is regarding what? A document map. And similarly, suppose I want to display the thumbnails. So by enabling this thumbnails option, we can open the thumbnails pane, which you can use to navigate a long document through small pictures here. So if I click on this, it will display the thumbnails at the left hand side, as you can see here. So these are nothing but a small pictures. Through this, you can simply navigate between the pages here. So now we are in third page. Assume that I want to directly go to the second page now. So simply click on this second page. So directly it will navigate to that particular page here. Okay, so similarly, we can scroll down here, and I can directly go through the last page, that is sixth page, simply by clicking on that. So this is how we can show or hide the various rulers, grid lines, document maps, and thumbnails, etc. And similarly, we can set the zooming level for the document by using what? A zoom option. By default, we are having what? 100% zooming level. So this is what a standard zooming level for the document. So which is indicating what? The normal size. So this is what the normal size. Okay. So similarly, we can zoom into a particular section by using what? Zoom option here. If I click on this, it will open a dialog box like this. Okay, as you can see here, we can set a different zooming scaling level here. Suppose I want to display my document in 200% zooming level, then we need to select this one, 100%, 75%, and also you can provide your own value here by using this particular percentage. You can set the zooming level. Okay, and sometimes what happens, I need to zoom according to the page width. At that time, you need to enable this option. According to text width, you can select this option, and according to the whole page, you can select this option. So these are what various zooming levels you can provide in a zoom dialog box. So now let me specify the 200% and click OK here. When I click OK button, please observe what happens to the document. You can see here the document has zoomed the entire content to 200% zooming scale. So this is how the zoom is going to work. So similarly, we can even provide the percentage by clicking here. As you can see, I can set the different value for percentage. Assume that I want to specify 400% here. So that can be done by selecting this option and just type 400% here and press OK button. So this is how it will zoom the entire content according to the scaling value which we have provided. And again, if I click on this 100%, so that again the document will be viewed in 100% zooming scale. So this is how we can zoom into the document and we can zoom out from the document. And even we can use what this zoom control bar here, so which is available at the bottom right corner. This one I have explained while explaining the components of MS Word document. So we can use this zoom control bar which is available here. So you can increase by using a plus mark and you can decrease by using minus mark here. So that is how we can use the zooming options. And similarly, we want to zoom so that the document can show the entire page which fits the window. So at that time, I can simply use a one page option here so that it will display the entire one page in the screen. Similarly, I need 2 pages, then simply I can click on 2 pages so that content will be displayed as we are able to see the 2 pages simultaneously. Or else sometimes what happens, according to the page width, I want to set the zoom of the document. So at that time I can click on zoom width here so that according to the page width, it will set the zooming level. It doesn't matter on which screen you are going to work. So according to the screen width, it will adjust. Okay. So this is how the zoom group options are going to work. And now let us see the various options which are available in window group. So normally what do you mean by window? A window is nothing but the place where we can work. So you can see here, this is nothing but one window. As you can see here, I'm able to move this entire window now. So this is called as a window. Okay. Suppose I want to include a new window which is containing the view of the current document only. Say for example, I'm having already the content in this particular document and I want to create one more window which is containing the same content in that particular window. At that time, I can simply click on new window option so that it will open a new window which is containing the view of the current document only. So let me click here. So when I click, you can see it has opened a new window. You can see here. Now it is showing what references original -2, as you can see here. references original is the file name, and here it is displaying a 2. That is nothing but it has opened a second window which is containing the same content again. Okay, and also this one. This is what the first window which we have opened. As you can see here, we are able to see this is nothing but the first window, and this is what the second window which we have recently opened. So this is how we can open a new window. Okay, so similarly I can click n number of windows here. As you can see now, this is the third window we are opening. As you can see, the title, it is showing what, number 3, isn't it? So similarly, we can open n number of windows. So this is fourth window, this is fifth window, this is sixth window, like that. Now you can observe here. So we are having totally 6 windows opened here. Okay, so this is sixth one, this is fifth one, right? So this is fourth one. As you can see here, I can overlap windows with each other, isn't it? So this is first window. Likewise, we are able to open several kinds of windows which are containing the same content. Okay, so this is how we can open a new window. And also we can arrange all the windows by using arrange all option. So sometimes what happens, we need to compare multiple windows, and I want to work with the multiple windows here. At that time, I can simply use arrange all options so that it will arrange all the windows side by side on the screen. So if I click here, you can see it has arranged all the windows side by side, right? So if I click on this particular, right? So this is how it will arrange all the windows. So even we can split the same window here. Assume that I'm working in this particular window here. Suppose I want to split the same window into multiple sections. So that can be done with the help of a split option here, so that I can split the current window into 2 separate parts here. So now let me click this, and you can see here my mouse cursor appearance has got changed, and it is showing one imaginary line, so that I can simply click on which place I want to split. Okay, so now I'm going to select this particular place, and I'm going to use left mouse button, so that I can, after clicking this, it is going to split the current window into multiple parts. Now let me click here. So after clicking this, you can see here my content has been shifted to separate parts. As you can see, if I scroll down here, this is one part and this is another part. So as you can see here, so at the both side we are having the same content again, but only the thing is we have split the same current window into multiple parts. So this is how we can use a split option here, so that it can weave our document into different sections. And similarly, we can remove the split here by using remove split option here. If I click once again, it will remove the different sections. So this is how we can split a window here. So let me use once again. Okay, so this is what we have successfully split the current window into multiple sections. Again, if I click on remove split, it will remove the various sections. Okay, now let me add a new window, and let me click on arrange all. As you can see here, now I want to weave multiple these documents side by side, so that I can compare their contents. Assume that sometimes what happens, we need to compare the contents present in multiple documents. At that time, it becomes very difficult to open one document and read it and remember the content and go to one more document and again read this, so that it creates a lot of confusion. Instead of that, what I can do, I can simply use this view side by side option so that I can go through the content side by side. So let me click this. After clicking this, you can see here, we are able to see the multiple documents side by side. Okay. And also, here you can see synchronous scrolling has been enabled. Yes, isn't it? So as I click on one particular document here, okay, if I scroll down like this, you can see other document is also scrolling down. So this is what the use of what? Synchronous scrolling. If I scroll down one particular document, it will scroll down even other document also, so that I can compare the contents at the same time. So this is how synchronous scrolling is going to work. Okay. Okay. And also we can switch between the windows by using a switch windows option. So as you can see here, now presently we have opened three separate windows, like references original one. As you can see here, we have opened three different windows, 1, 2, 3. So I can switch between these windows by using a switch windows option. Assume that I want to shift to the first original reference document. So simply I can click this so that it will move to the first window. As you can see the title bar here, you can see it is showing what? References original 1. So means it will directly uh, shift the windows so that I can directly jump to particular window here. So now if I click on references original 2, it will directly shift me to original 2 here, as you can see. So this is how switch windows option is going to work. So let me close all the documents. So now we can see here, now I'm opening only one document. Now let me show you what is the use of macros. Basically, a macro is nothing but a sequence of operations which can be recorded as a macro. Assume that I'm going to write some content here. Say, for example, let me write even macro only. Okay, let me consider a new document. Let me open a fresh document, blank document here. Okay. Hope you are able to see this font. So assume that I'm going to write a macro here. Assume that for this macro, I'm going to apply certain formattings now. So assume that by selecting this particular word, I'm going to apply bold option, italic option, and also I'm going to increase the font size, and I'm going to apply the font color, background color. Okay, so these are the various formattings I'm going to apply for the macro here. I mean macro text. I want to record all these operations. Whatever the operations I'm going to perform, I can record all those operations with the help of a macro here. So that the recorded operations can be applied for another particular text by running that macro. Let me show you how we can record a macro. So first what we need to do, we need to select the text. We need to click on view tab, and here, as you can see here, we are having a macros option here. So we need to click on this, and we need to click on record macro option. As you can see, record macro option, we need to click on this. So simply select this record macro, and we need to specify one name for the macro. So here I'm going to specify the name as macro 1. And for this macro, we need to assign the shortcut keys here. We need to assign what? Shortcut key. Because whatever the macro we are recording, I need to execute that macro. I need to run that macro. So for that purpose, I need to specify the shortcut keys. But please remember here, while providing a shortcut key, we should not use the shortcut key which is already assigned for certain operations. For example, I cannot assign control B because as a control B is assigned for a bold option. So we need to specify a different shortcut key which is not available here. So for that purpose, let me use control Q. Control Q is not assigned with any shortcut keys in MS Word. So now let me click on assign button here. As you can see, we are having assign button. We need to click on this so that we can assign this particular shortcut key for running the macro 1. So now let me click on this assign and let me close here. So now you can see my mouse cursor appearance got changed. Now it is showing what something a tape like a symbol. That is nothing but now whatever the macro we have set for recording, now it has started recording the macro. Now whatever the operations I can perform, it is being recorded. Assume that, let me click on home tab. Let me make it as a bold, italic. Let me apply the font color here and let me set the font size as 48. Okay. So these are the sequence of operations I have executed here. Now what I will do, I will stop the macro recording now. So go to view here, macros. As you can see here, we are having a stop recording option. Earlier it was displaying what? Record macro. Now it is displaying what? Stop recording. That means what? The macro is being recorded. So now let me click on this stop recording option so that it will stop the recording. So now you can see my mouse cursor has turned into its original cursor. Now, whatever the sequence of operations I have performed on macro here for this particular text, now I want to apply the same macro for test macro word also. For that, I have already assigned a shortcut key. So first we need to select this, and whatever the shortcut key we have assigned, that is control Q. So I am going to use the same shortcut key, control Q. See here, look at the magic. Whatever the sequence of operations it has recorded, when I execute the shortcut key, it will run that particular macro so that it will perform all the operations which have been recorded, and it will apply those operations for the selected text. So this is the use of a macro. So assume that. So here in the next line, let me type another word here. Again, select this particular word, and whatever the shortcut key assigned for macro 1, control Q. So press control Q. You can see here, it has applied all the formattings which have been recorded in macro 1. Okay. So similarly, here also, let me type another word. Again, select this particular text. Now I can run the macro by clicking on view macros. You can see here also we are having a run option. Okay. So we need to click on this particular button here so that it will execute the same macro. To execute a macro, we can use a shortcut key. Okay. Or else we can go to macros option here and we can click on view macros, and it will open a macros dialog box. There we need to select a macro name and we need to click on run button to execute the macro. So now if I click on this run, again it will execute the macro. Shortcut key ನಾದ್ರೂ ನಾವು execute ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ macros option ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ view macros ಅಂದು macro name select ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು run button click ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ macro will execute. So this is how we can record a macro and how we can run the macro here. So hope you have understood the various options present in view tab.